What's up, guys? Welcome to Vintage Genetics, where it is all about classic bodybuilding. And today we are about 13 weeks out from my contest to qualify for the Mr. Olympia Classic Physique. So I'm going to take you through my diet changes compared to the last time you saw my diet. So the carbs have gone down, the fats have gone down a little bit, but I'll show you that in detail throughout this video, and the meals as well. And today will also be a chest day. But this morning I weighed around 116.7 kilos. So that's 4.7 kilos to go until my weight limit. But usually with bodybuilders, the weight loss slows down, and then you plateau for a little while in terms of weight loss, but your conditioning will improve. But then at the very end, it's very important to let that weight go down to where it needs to be. But anyway, I'm going to take you through that whole process, and I'm going to do some cardio with my little friend over there. So, do you want to do some walking outside, little Dexter? Yes? Do you? Or are you camera shy? Normally you make a lot of sound, but now it's lacking. How is that possible? He just had his food, his breakfast, and now it's time for his cardio as well. So let's get to it. Try to go through a little different environments, but I've been walking this area for so long, for so many times, that it's hard to find variation. So we are doing it together with little Dexter, and he's enjoying it a lot. He likes to be walked around, carried around, strolled around, and a lot of other things. So this kind of cardio is really helping with the fat loss, because I'm ahead of schedule for sure. Every time I do a prep, I am more ahead compared to the previous prep. So now my conditioning is better than the Olympia conditioning I had last year at this point in time. So that's what I'm going to improve every single time. It's the conditioning, guys, and activity throughout the day. That's what helps you get there, combined with lowering your calories, of course. But that is what you want to minimize as much as possible, because at the very end you will have to go super low anyway. But the less time you spend in that low phase, the less chance you have of losing muscle, losing fullness, stuff like that. So I like to do this low intensity, steady state cardio, no loss of muscle, no catabolism, except for the catabolism of fat cells and fatty acids, I mean. So let's keep walking and show you the breakfast. So there's one thing I wanted to show you guys that I like to do preparing my breakfast, and it's very easy, very delicious, and something a lot of people ask me: how do I make my cream of rice? So in all honesty, it's very easy. This is literally just brown rice. You can use basmati rice, simple white rice, jasmine rice, it doesn't matter. The rice you like the most, you put it in a blender right here. It's gonna be blended up with this one. I take 100 grams every single morning, and this will be the powder that forms my cream of rice. I'm not gonna show you the whole breakfast preparation because I don't want to make this video too long. I'm gonna make a separate video about that. But just know this will be blended up, put in a pan, mixed up with water, and then it's simply exactly like cream of rice. And then I add all the toppings that I like. So let me show you that. Look, so this is how it comes out. It's just a fine powder, and that's it. That is cream of rice. That is what they literally do in a factory. maybe with a little more sophistication to make sure the powder is entirely fine, but this looks pretty good on its own. If you don't have a good blender, you might have a rice grain or two that's still a little intact, but since you're cooking it anyway, everything will taste nicely and softly, so it doesn't matter. So you will see the incredible result this will have in my breakfast right now. Okay guys, it's time for the breakfast, and as I mentioned to you guys, here it is with all the beautiful delicious toppings and the cream of rice. As you can see, it looks just like a regular cream of rice, but right now, because I'm cutting of course for the contest, I'm using brown rice for the cream of rice, and that's also the benefit. You can use your own variations. You can use even sushi rice or risotto rice just to experiment with the consistency and how much water it could hold, stuff like that. But I used brown rice, 100 grams, 100 grams of blueberries, 35 grams of dark chocolate, 80%, 60 grams of white isolate, and he's also having an opinion of course, and some salt. Some low salt, which means there is some potassium in there as well, some cinnamon, and yeah, that was it. So let's just enjoy this meal while Dexter is enjoying his little snack, rice cakes. We can't have a bodybuilder as a dad and not have rice cakes for his son at home, right? He's actually asking for it, so here you go. And he loves it. See you at the next meal. And now it's time for meal number 2. This is my pre-workout meal. And I don't actually have a true pre-workout meal. It just happens to be the meal that I have before the workout. And I don't usually plan the workout at a certain time of day. It just happens when it happens due to work and the clients and the workout nutrition plans or a video that I'll be uploading. And the time I have left will be for the workout. So the meal I have before then is the meal I'm just happen to eating at that moment. So let me show you what it is. Okay, so this is some wild salmon, 125 grams, and some codfish, also 125 grams. We have some obvious cauliflower, some Brussels sprouts, and some beautiful rice with golden turmeric and some Japanese spices as well. Very delicious. And I also put 5 mils of walnut oil on here. So that used to be 10 milliliters, reduced that at 5. The rice used to be 80 grams, now it's 60 grams, obviously uncooked, now it's cooked. So yeah, those are the differences in a lot of the meals for each day, but I'll tell you more of that in detail. But now let's enjoy this and work some chest. And then it is time for the chest workout, obviously one of many people's favorite body parts to train. However, a lot of people also have that as a weak body part because they focus way too much on super heavy compounds without actually using the chest. So if you look closely through my vest, which by the way is new and available on vintagenenergy.com, you can see that my chest is stretching down all the way and contracting all the way up. So it's really being actively involved in this movement. So the biggest pump I feel after doing sets like this is not in the arms, it's not in the shoulders, it is in the chest. So if you feel a big pump anywhere else and not really in the chest, then you know that your form is off for the exercise. So what you really want to do here, and this is obviously the Incline Smith machine bench press. I'm using the Smith machine because I don't have a spotter, and it's much safer, and it targets the muscle a bit more directly instead of having to balance it and worrying that something might go wrong. Again, no spotter, so you want to be safe. And what I'm doing here is 3 working sets. So for you who've been following me for a while, I used to do 2 working sets, and the working set, by the way, means set to failure, or you simply won't do another rep because you know that rep will go to failure. So what I do is, normally I would do a heavy working set and then a back off working set. So on heavier weight and a lighter weight. However, now I'm doing a medium weight to begin with, hitting it at around 12 reps, and then doing a heavier weight than that, around 8 reps, and then do the back off set, which this is, in between the 15 and 20 rep range. That way I added another strength set to the exercise, which increases the maximum tension on the muscle, and that is what causes muscle growth the mostly. So of every aspect about building muscle, mechanical tension, so the amount of weight and tension put on the muscles, that is what builds the most muscle. That's what causes the biggest stimulus to build muscle. All the other things like the pump and the metabolites, the lactic acid, stuff like that, that is all secondary to the mechanical tension. So you always want to go as heavy as possible and become strong in every single rep range. That is why I recommend, at least for a few of your compound main lifts, do a few working sets in different rep ranges, so you log those lifts, so the next time you try to beat yourself, it gets stronger and stronger, and the more strength you have, the more weight you're able to lift, the more tension will be put in a muscle, the more you will grow. But what I was beginning with is that most people don't have a strong chest, even when they could be strong, and that is because you really always want to utilize a full range of motion. I honestly see quite a lot of even top-ranked bodybuilders not going all the way down, and their chest is a weakness. So even though they are way more muscular than me, proportionally their chest might be smaller than the rest of their body, and that is not something you want as a bodybuilder. Now, for me, that has been legs for a very long time, and yes, that was also due to a lack of range of motion. So now with the legs and with all the exercises, the leg presses, hack squats, the belt squats, I go all the way down until I literally can't go further, maximizing the stretch on the muscle, and that maximizes muscle growth as well. So with chest, that's what you want to do. So the second exercise I just did was the 80x lever arm incline chest press. Feels really amazing, and that's really to get the real blood flowing into the muscles. And then this is the third movement after already having done 2 heavy chest movements. So this one is quite difficult. So a tip from me to you is I make a lot of workout plans for people, and whenever I put a dumbbell press in their plan, they're like, well, my gym only has dumbbells until 40 kilos or 30 kilos or 45 kilos, and I can already do 12 reps with the heaviest weight. That's because you're starting out with that exercise. This gym has dumbbells up to 70 kilos, and I can do those for 12 reps or 13 reps already. So what I like to do then is not do that as the first exercise, but the second or third exercise. So the lighter weight, as you can see, are a very hard challenge to do as well, and that's what you want to do if you're limited by the amount of weight available. And of course you have to check the pump achieved by doing those exercises. So yes, first you put a lot of tension on the muscle, but also the pump. That's a very nice aspect about bodybuilding, which you always want to have. And the tank that I'm wearing, also newly available on vintagegenetics.com. If you follow my Instagram at Wesley Vissers, you would already have seen that. And that has been new, along with a few other items and more items back in stock as well. But anyway, this is the cable fly. And I like to do this as the last movement to make sure that the chest is really finished off. So sometimes people like to do like a bench press and then a fly, or even a fly at the very beginning and then other compounds. But the reasoning why I put the flies at the very end is all of the movements I did before, the shoulders helped, the triceps helped. So even though I felt the failure point happening in my chest, the other muscle groups still aided in those lifts. So to make sure that the chest is finished off, that's when you want to do an isolation movement to go to failure there, so no other muscle is able to help the chest assist in the lift, so when you reach failure then, you know it's true failure of the muscle. Now this is an essential part of the chest workout, guys. Yes, I'm not training the chest with this movement, I'm training the side delts. But a lot of people train shoulders separately and then do the front delts first and always leave the side and rear delts as an accessory movement on that day. Trust me, if you combine this with your chest day, the side delt workout, exercise like this, 3 full sets that I just did, a lot of reps, 3 sets to failure with a lot of volume, trust me, they will grow. No heavy weights, light weights, 25 reps on average for each set, and go to failure the correct way, and then go beyond failure with alternating reps. Trust me, if you do that for a few months, you will notice the difference, because that's what I've been doing for forever. And I never train shoulders separately, yet they are very much there. And combining it with a chest workout is uniquely nice because you already work the delts, mostly the front delts, and the side delts are automatically filled with blood anyway, so you might as well finish them off using a targeted isolation movement. Anyway, we are going to the triceps here, and this has become, weirdly enough, one of my favorite tricep movements to build the small head. So if you look at yourself in the mirror and your arms are simply to your sides, straight down, the width of your arm is mostly determined by the small head of the tricep and the brachialis muscle underneath and beside the bicep muscle, and of course the bicep itself. So hammer curls and rope pushdowns, that's what gets you wide arms from the front, just like Kevin Levrone, for example. We all know how incredible his arms were, and one of his biggest parts of his entire body was that small head of the tricep. Anyway, this is the rope pushdown. So I first go to failure here for 3 times, getting a lot of blood, as you can see, in the triceps. And then, because the triceps are now pumped up, this exercise right here, the overhead tricep extension, is a lot more useful, because the moment that my hands go over my head behind me, that's when I feel an incredible stretch. And honestly, if I would start my tricep work with this exercise, it wouldn't feel that good. The mind-muscle connection would be lessened, because even for me, it's quite difficult to feel the triceps here if they are not pumped. But if they are pumped, you can literally feel those muscle fibers tearing apart, stretching out as you go backwards and stretch out the triceps. And it's all about the stretch, guys. Without the stretch, your body, your muscles, your brain won't send a strong enough impulse for muscles to grow at the maximum rate that they can grow. So always stretch as much as you can without doing anything weird or crazy. Just go through the full range of motion. Literally feel that stretch in the muscle. If you don't feel it, you have to change something about the way you're performing the exercise. But the stretch here is important, and of course always go for the contraction. And here you can see that the last few reps I keep my hands together to force a few more reps out. And here I'm simply doing a drop set because it's the last exercise, the last set. And I want to go beyond failure here. So I already hit failure point at the original working set. And then I do a few more reps with the drop set to go absolutely to failure. Alrighty guys, just got done with the workout. Felt pretty awesome. Did quite a lot of working sets. Got a very nice pump in the chest and the triceps, and I'm glad to see the conditioning is showing more and more. Well, the fullness isn't disappearing. I just had a whey isolate shake, 60 grams of whey isolate and 30 grams of collagen protein. I mentioned my elbows are a little sore, but they used to be a lot more sore, so that's why I still stick to the rope movements. And I actually didn't feel any soreness at all, and that's due to the diet and due to the exercise selection. But let's check out the post-workout meal itself. So this is the post-workout meal. We have some rice. This is 100 grams of uncooked rice transformed into about 250 grams of cooked rice. We have some black or purple carrots, very delicious. And a fun fact, the purple color actually is the same. The chemical in this carrot, the purple color causing it, is responsible in the blueberries for that color as well. So that's pretty amazing. Also some broccoli. And we have our kiwi right here. And yes, you hear Dexter on the background. That usually happens throughout the day. And here we have a can of tuna for the protein. This is about 30 grams of protein because I had already had it in the post-workout shake. But anyway, let's enjoy this one for sure. Alright guys, next meal of the day is going to be meal number 4. It looks a lot like meal number 2 that I had pre-workout, and now it's like the post-workout, which normally would still have a bit more carbs, but this time it doesn't because we are in a serious contest prep. So let me show you what it is. So this is what it looks like. This is just some white fish, about 250 grams. I also added 5 mils of walnut oil to it. Very healthy oil, but you don't want to warm it up, so add it after heating it up. Very delicious mix of broccoli and cauliflower into one. So they literally paired them, and that pretty much comes out. We have some black carrot again, the rice again, this time 60 grams, so let's enjoy this one. So guys, real quick, I wanted to show you the difference in my nutrition plan from the update I had at 15 weeks out and now 13 weeks out. And as of right now, these are the changes. So the breakfast is the exact same as you can see by the calories. This side is from 15 weeks out, and this side is from 13 or 12 weeks out. As of right now, I'm about 12 weeks out. So the first differences is the basmati rice. I mentioned it first was 80 grams, now it's 50 grams. At the same time, I also reduced the avocado from 50 grams to 25 grams, as you can see. And when we go down, the other meals also before were 80 grams, now are 50 grams. And one of the meals has never got any carbs, so that's carb-free. But even in that meal, I reduced the fats to make sure that the calories in total go down. The post-workout shake is the exact same. The post-workout meal also is a bit different. It was 120 grams of rice, now it's 100. And the last meal of the day is the biggest difference because I took out half of the Nordic salmon, which is quite a lot of fat that you can then drop. But to make sure that I don't lose out on the protein then, I actually add some whey isolate. So let's check. So add that right here. I actually have forgotten to add that. So whey isolate, 30 grams. And with 30 grams, the amount of protein is the exact same as before, but the fats have been reduced with 10 grams. So the calories as well, with almost 100 calories, so about 90 calories. So that's the biggest difference. So if you look at the totals at top, I'm about 500 calories lower now. The carbs are mostly lower, also a bit in the fats, and you guys know that I'm a fan of a higher, well, at least a medium fat diet. And because the fats are getting lower and lower, what I do is I have an omega-3 and a krill oil capsule with every single meal. So that's 12 grams of fat, but essential fatty acids, and that's mostly for health purposes, insulin sensitivity, cholesterol, triglycerides, basically getting the blood panel correct, and also it just helps burn fat eventually. Might be bro science, might be actual science, but if your body knows that you're getting enough essential fatty acids in, it's more likely to burn the fat compared to the body not receiving those essential fatty acids and wanting to hold on to the fat it still has. So that has been a theory that has been going on. Maybe has been proven, maybe not. But regardless of that, I recommend everybody who has a lower amount of fat
to supplement with essential fatty acids if the fat really goes quite low. Like if I would have lower than 50 grams of fat a day, then definitely I would substitute it with a lot of essential fatty acids, especially since the salmon here went down in half as well. Anyway, guys, I really want to thank you for watching. I'm going to do more of these updates, especially when things change. In the last 2 weeks, I didn't really post an update per se because there wasn't much to update, but this is the update for now, and a lot more videos are coming. Trust me, I've been quite busy with coaching. And, you know, the Vintage Genetics Transformation Coaching Group is larger and larger every single week. So that's been taking quite a lot of time. But I'll make a separate video about that and why I'm not posting as much videos now. But trust me, they will be coming and coming to stay. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. And don't forget to stay golden.